Well, look who's in the news again. And quite frankly, I don't see why this is a major shock because it did not surprise me in the least that this had come out. And of course, this is the fact that, according to a report from the Wall Street Journal, Elon Musk has been in regular contact with Putin for the past 2 years. Now, what has been going on for those past 2 years? Well, obviously, one thing being, the Ukraine invasion that Putin decided to do, and we know full well because the Ukrainians have reported this that they have had problems with Starlink. In some places, they relied on Starlink to use drones, communications. There was a case where they were going to deploy this, like, with the sea drones, like a massive attack on like Sevastopol with the sea drones, and apparently Elon Musk just turned them off. So this raises huge questions as to now whether Putin has had access to the Ukrainian Starlink to be able to see what's going on there. That is a major problem. That is a major security issue because Elon Musk has security clearance on a whole wide range of things, apparently. So I think immediately these need to be looked into. These need to be, his clearance needs to be just revoked instantly. And certainly he should be in line to be kicked out of some of these government-run subsidy programs. Now, of course, the Kremlin has come out and said, this isn't true. But of course, it's the Kremlin. It lies consistently. It has a track record for lying. So I ain't believing what the Kremlin says on this. This is something that should absolutely be looked into because this has a myriad of security implications, not only just for America, but potentially for Ukraine as well. And might answer a lot of questions about, the use of or should we say at least the Starlink and what maybe Elon has been saying to Putin about this. So let's get more into this. So, but before we do, please remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button down below. There are links to my Patreon page, the monetization link called Buy Me Coffee. We can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there's the Pony Club down below as well. So let's crack on then into this. So this comes from The Guardian with Elon Musk has been now regular contact with Putin for 2 years. So Elon Musk, the world's richest man, who has been now central to Donald Trump's election campaign, has been in regular contact with Vladimir Putin for the past 2 years, according to a report in the US. The Wall Street Journal cited several in now post and former US, European, and Russian officials reported that the conversations now between the two men range from the personal to the geopolitical and included a request from the Russian leader not to activate his Starlink satellite internet service over Taiwan as a favor to the Chinese leader and Putin ally Xi Jinping. So that is very clear where his interests lie instantly. Because if you're going to, do it as a favor to Putin, who's doing it as a favor to Xi Jinping, huge, huge implications over this. So the implications of this secret channel of communication between Musk and Putin are now enormous for Western security. The Tesla tycoon is a key player in the US space program and has high-level security clearance. His company SpaceX launched the US national security satellites. His Starlink communications are critical to the war in Ukraine, and he runs one of the world's largest and biggest, most influential media platforms, Twitter, debatable how influential it is now, and has provided, of course, a vehicle for Russian disinformation campaigns. Furthermore, if Trump is elected on the 5th of November, Trump could even play an even more important role in this new US administration. He's poured out his own money into the campaign and made multiple personal appearances at rallies. Trump has even suggested that he could even head up government commissions on efficiency if he wins. This story is about the oligarchical capture of the US, said Fiona Hill, who was the senior director for the European and Russian affairs in the Trump White House. She compared the situation in the US now to the heyday of the oligarchs in Russia after the fall of the Soviet Union. If people like Musk get Trump reelected, then expect all kinds of regulatory gifts now in their favor, said Hill, who was a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute and Chancellor of Durham University and defense advisor to the UK government. She said it is now in his position to command government contracts, potentially now with a governmental position. And there are loads of militaries around the world dependent on his systems, not least Ukraine. Earlier this month, journalist Bob Woodward reported in a new book that Trump himself had also several private phone calls with Putin since leaving office. Trump has said that he will not comment on the reporting, but that if he had spoken with Putin, it would have been, quote, a smart thing. One of the things that came out of that book, by the way, was that Trump gave Putin early not only ventilators, but also vaccines. Because one of the things we've talked about this on Geoscope, like COVID sent Putin a bit paranoid. Like he became really paranoid he was going to catch COVID and die from it. So here comes along Donald Trump offering him these things and gives them to him. And it raises the question, what else might have Trump given to him? Or what else in these conversations were a smart thing that he did about, anything else? What happened there? We don't know. We don't know. And that's the terrifying thing. If he gets in, I've said it before, but there will be a lot of consequences, not least, of course, for Ukraine, but for many other places around the world. Anyway, this continues. So the Wall Street Journal also reported and said that the extent of Musk's contact with Putin were now very closely held secret, and even some officials in the Biden White House had been unaware of them. Musk had not been commented on this report by Friday afternoon, but the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, claimed that the only communication the Kremlin had with Musk was over a single telephone call in which he and Putin discussed space as well as current and future technologies. Yeah, totally. But I think this is something that needs to be looked into. Like, this is a massive national security issue. Massive. As was said earlier, he has tons of secret information. He's part of the US space program. He has security clearance. Lots of militaries dependent, not just Ukraine, are dependent on Starlink. It's a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a problem for many countries, I think now. Probably, maybe relooking at Starlink, hopefully, in the wake of this. Peskov also insisted that neither Putin nor the Kremlin officials were holding regular conversations with Musk. Again, I doubt it. Press X to doubt on that one. However, the journal also said that these conversations now with top Russian officials ran from 2022, and the year included now Sergei Kozlov, Putin's first deputy chief of staff. Klinikov was obviously accused by the US Department of Justice last month in creating over 30 different internet domains, some now on X, to spread Russian disinformation intended now to erode support for Ukraine and to influence the US presidential elections. Gee, what a nice guy, to be speaking to. In October 2022, Musk also tweeted that the Ukraine-Russia peace plan, which was now largely reflected all of Moscow's positions. Again, that's true as well. Musk did do that. Although that Russia peace plan that he retweeted pretty much reflected what Moscow's positions were. Just, give us everything, and then we'll leave. Yeah. Ian Bremmer, a political scientist who runs the US consulting firm, the Eurasia Group, said that Musk had told him that he had spoken directly with Putin and other Kremlin officials about Ukraine. Musk does deny Bremmer's claim, but Hill, who had also attended the same elite conference in Aspen, Colorado, as Musk just a month before, said that it was true. She said he did tell Ian Bremmer that he was talking to Putin and that he told many other people that he was. He was basically just channeling the kind of things that Putin had told him. So that should be absolutely investigated. Absolutely investigated. Musk has far too many like important connections within the US government, not only in the US government, but many other governments around the world because of the Starlink thing and having to have it boggles the mind. It really does. Maybe maybe we might be seeing the end of Elon Musk, maybe like the downfall eventually, but it sure seems like it. Tesla stock is tanking. Um, SpaceX isn't the most successful space program ever. NASA still is. And if NASA had the type of money which the US government was, giving to SpaceX instead of, maybe giving it to NASA, NASA might be able to do the kinds of things that Elon Musk claims that SpaceX could do. So we'll see what happens, but I do not think, and hopefully Harris wins. This is something I would be looking into. If I were Biden, I'd be looking into this now. I'd be canceling his access. I'd be freezing any subsidy money and saying, right, we're looking into this because I would absolutely be looking into this. This is a massive security issue, massive on a lot of fronts, but it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me, especially when you look at Elon Musk's track record for the past 2 years. Suddenly maybe a lot of this stuff maybe starts to click into place. But as always, let me know what you think down below. And of course, as always, there's the links down below, the Patreon page, the Buy Me Coffee link, all down below. So thank you very much to all those people who do help support that. Obviously, you can click the like and share button, subscribe if you are new, and of course, we'll see you all next time.